Jonas says coffee, and then he just starts putting his crazy maniac emoticon. So we're playing a $50 spin now, guys. So we spun a 3x again, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I never have drank coffee. Like, maybe that's why, like, honestly, like, maybe the reason, like, I don't drink coffee or any caffeine of any kind ever. That includes soda or anything at all. And I also don't take any supplements. And I'm thinking maybe now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe that's why I need so much sleep. Like, I'm really tired. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. Maybe it's like a poker thing as well. Because like when you play poker, it's like your brain is like, I feel like it's just exhausting on the brain. Like when I'm done playing, like let's say like an 8-hour session, 9-hour, 10-hour session, my brain is exhausted. Like even something as simple as like socializing just seems very difficult after like a very long day's work. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. It's almost like your brain is like, hey, like it just wants to like shut off. Like it's just like, I just want to like sleep, relax, watch like a dumbed down TV show or like it's very weird. But then I also need like, you know, at least 8 hours of sleep. I don't know if everyone's like that, but for myself personally, like I need 8 hours of sleep. Most of the time I like to get 9. 8.5 to 9 hours is where I usually land. But like anything less than 8 hours of sleep, I don't feel like 1000% myself. Like I like to be energized throughout the day and stuff. So yeah, I don't feel like 1,000,000% good when I don't have my 8 hours of sleep. I'm very, very particular about my sleep. I need to get that 8 or 9 hours. I want it. I need it. I love it. Ace-6 here against a bet check bet in a $10 game. We're gonna reluctantly call here because we have a great bluff catching combo, but I don't feel great about bluff catching in general at these stakes that much, to be honest. I think the biggest leak for a $10 player is going to be underbluffing, you know, for the most part. That straight and simple. That's going to be the biggest leak. They're just not going to be bluffing enough. I should have probably just folded the way the hand was played, to be honest with you guys. Even though, you know, in the realm of GTO, that's going to tell you like, oh, it's a guaranteed call there, right? You know, against a bet check bet, half pot on the river, you know, you've got a guaranteed call, but we're not really, you know, trying or wanting to play GTO here at these stakes. Astolastomus says, I can totally relate to the brain exhaustion. Yeah, shit. Jonas says that's what you need coffee for. Yeah, but I want to be able to be full of energy and full of life and, you know, thriving without having to rely on anything. And also caffeine gives me acid reflux for whatever reason. I don't know how to stop it. Whenever I have caffeine, I always have acid reflux, and it's like, it seems just unstoppable. So I don't really know how to get through that challenge of it. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, the caffeine just gets me with the acid reflux. I start like feeling heartburn and like stuff like that. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that can relate to the brain exhaustion. I would think, like after playing like a full day's grind, or like after like a long week's grind, your brain is just tired. It wants to like, it really just wants to watch something just like ridiculous on TV that you don't have to think about, and then just like sleep. You know, it just wants to. It's just like begging for exhaustion, for relaxation. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like the brain just wants to shut down. You know, it just wants to rest. It just needs a rest after like such, because like poker is such a mentally draining, because like, you're always thinking. Like if you're playing poker properly, if you're playing poker properly, you're always thinking very intensely. Not intensely. That's not the word I want to use. You're very calmly thinking in game. So after doing so much thinking, the brain is just like, after you're done playing poker, it's just like it's begging you, please don't make me think about anything anymore. Let me relax. Let me wind down. Let me take it easy. That's what the brain wants. You know, that's what the brain wants after like a long day or a long week's grind of poker. Like, it just wants to just take it easy, cool it down. And yeah, that's it. Let's see. Okay, hopefully we can win this here. Oh, we got a lot of outs. We don't hit any of them, no. Peanuts in it. Super Passy says, what do you think? How long will it take the average reg to play 50,000 games? It depends if you're talking about ultras or reg speeds. For reg speeds, 50,000 games will take a long time. Because I would say on average, like the average volume for reg speeds is somewhere between like, I would say something like 2,000 games per month is a decent average for a full-time. It's an average, you know, for a reg. I would say is that yeah. As we lose this pot, okay, let's go back to 20s. Play a couple 20s. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so I would say the average is about 2,000 games per month for the average, you know, reg speed player. For ultras, I would say the average is probably around like 8,000 games. Obviously, like there's a lot of guys that play way more than that, right? We have a couple guys on Team 651 that play 25 to 30,000 games per month. Let that sink in. 25 to 30,000 ultras per month. We have a few guys like that. One guy, I think, if I remember correctly, he played over 30,000 games in a month, which is pretty wild. And then reg speeds, like if you're like a mega monster reg speed grinder, you can get in. You can definitely put in like, you know, 4,000 to 5,000 games per month if you're just a monster grinder. So there are guys that they're putting in some serious volume at those games. I would say the average is, like I said, the average probably 2,000 for reg speeds, 8,000 for ultras, something like that. That's probably like the lower end of the average, because there are guys that crush those numbers, like absolutely crush those numbers. Those are the guys that are really all in, and those are the guys that put their heart and, you know, their heart and soul into the game. Let's see what else we got here. I'll do a little 3x raise, the ace king. Wow, I love this guy's username. The end is coming. It's like a cat staring at you. I love that username. The end is coming. We don't know what end this guy's talking about. Maybe the end of the spin, maybe the end of the world, maybe the end of, you know, who knows? The end of COVID. He could be talking about anything there. We're gonna bet 20 chips here. Not a coin more, not a coin less. Arcarito says, Martin Jacobson said in an interview he takes 20 supplements daily. Wow, that's pretty wild. And I could see that making sense. Like if they actually help you, even if it's like just perceived help, even if they don't actually help you, but you just feel like they do, or you just feel better as you're taking these like supplements that are supposed to be healthy, as long as you've researched them and thought them out to be healthy, I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, we're gonna toss with the Jack 6 off here. Yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with that. As long as you research those supplements, and you know there's no long-term, you know, no long-term downsides for them, and you know that there's a lot of upside to them, and it just helps you think clearer, like whatever else. Like, you know, sometimes it's all in the mind. You know, if you read about books on placebo and stuff like that, a lot of some of the supplement help could just be all in the mind. And if it helps you, you know, if you believe it helps you, it helps you. It's just, you know, that's it. So we check this back here. Let's see what else we got. Astolastamus says, I only take vitamin D during the winter and some vitamin C when I remember. Yeah, I don't even do that. I don't do any of it. None of it at all. But yeah, those things could be helpful. You know, they could be. It's very possible. I don't hate against supplements. I don't have any problem with vitamin C, vitamin D, and all these other things, but I just don't take them. So here, I mean, I'm just gonna call, but I'm not happy about this at all. In a $10 game, I actually might fold here. I'm gonna fold here. I think most of the bluffs would have probed turn. I'm gonna fold here. That was a $20 game. I'm still gonna fold versus a $20 reg versus a $20 fish. I don't care who it is there. I'm gonna fold in that spot. Ace Queen also, we're gonna jam it in. Yeah, I'm gonna fold in that spot because I think a lot of the bluffs would have took turn there. A lot of them. So I feel very good about that fold. Mac Fly. So Mac Fly says, hey Jack, about the contract, if you started at $10, what kind of result does it take to move to 20s, and good luck today? It's not that simple as far as like this is the result, this is when you move up. We have a process on our team. You know, if me and Scott think that you're ready to move up based on your volume, based on your chip EV, based on, you know, your group session participation, or if you've done a session with me and Scott, we decide, you know, on a player by player basis, you know, we decide on a player by player basis, you know, who's, you know, to move up, who's to stay at the same stake. There's a lot of things that are, you know, factoring in there. There's the volume, there's the chip EV, there's what me and Scott personally think, there's group session participation, there's the mental game that we kind of gauge. So we don't have any specific guidelines for that. AOUBB. Hold on, let me just play this hand out and I will talk to him. We're going to check here. We win versus a couple of combos like ace 3, ace 5, maybe some queen highs that check call flop that didn't bluff the river. So I'm going to check that down. AOUBB says, okay, wow, even 20K games is a lot for aspiring pros only. Seems very hard to do this with a regular job on the side. Not impossible, but it would require either a lot of time or a lot of sacrifices. Well, you know, if you're playing poker for a living and you're going all in and all out, you really should not have another job on the side. And I know that's like, you know, going to be controversial advice. That's not what your parents would tell you. That's not what, you know, your financial advisor might tell you. Whoa, you're playing poker for a living. This is crazy. But that's my belief. You know, if you're playing poker for a living and you're trying to be really good at it and make some serious money playing this game, you need to be giving it 100% of your focus. So if you have another side project or another job or something like that, that's going to be taking away from, you know, the mental energy that you need to really get good at poker. You have to kind of burn those backup plans, you know, let's call it. And you got to put your trust, you got to put 100% trust in yourself and know that it's very possible to make tons of money playing poker. A lot of people, like all the guys on Team 651, I mean, not everyone, but most of the guys on Team 651 make some really good money. So, it's actually quite easy and simple to do if you're willing to commit 100%. If you're willing to commit 100%, if you're willing to put in the study hours, if you're willing to put in the volume. There's a lot of ifs there, but you know, if you give it 100% of your attention, those things all fall into place, like without, you know, any question about it. We're gonna bet 45 chips here. Astoma says, imagine going outside in the winter when the sun is out as a poker player. I go outside in the winter when the sun is out. I mean, sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes. Iron Man says, no, I mean in the summer. I said I only take it in the winter. I think that the human body can store vitamin D. I mean, there's still sun. I don't know where you guys are living, but over here in Toronto, there's still sun in the winter. So you can get out, get some sun. Yeah, there's still definitely some sun. We'll check call this Jack 5 of the offsuit nature while I turn these lights on. This is not a good turn. I don't think he'll be bluffing that turn that much. This is an excellent river. Why? Because we're going to bluff it. That's why it's an excellent river. But 120 chips. We have way more queens than he does. Way more queens than he does. and a lot more kings than he does as played. But obviously he has more aces, and sometimes in a jam, we're gonna fold. Yeah, excellent spot here to make a bet, obviously. You guys playing kind of slow. We'll try to speed things up a little bit. He believes the end is coming. I don't think so. Texas Tomo, guys. For those of you who don't recognize Texas Tomo, I don't blame you. I don't know who Texas Tomo is, but that is actually Tommy Guns, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy Guns has just subscribed for 11 months. What a pimp. What an absolute legend pimp. He's got to change his username though. Texas Tomo. I don't think anybody recognizes Texas Tomo. Should be under the alias of Tommy Guns. Everyone knows him as Tommy Guns. This Texas stuff, I don't know what it is. Jonas says, hello, Tommy. Arcarito with the Tommy Guns of emoticons with a cat, with a cool cat. This cat is kind of cool though. This cat is actually really cool. I feel like the NFT of that cat would be like $100,000 or something. You know, if you own that cat, if you own the rights of this cat, that's gonna be worth a lot of money. A lot of money. Super Passy says, like they say in Think and Grow Rich, if you want to conquer the island, you gotta burn the boats. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And we're gonna go ahead and float this little check raise here. This end is coming, guys. You know, the end is coming for him soon, I think. If he doesn't continue betting here, we're gonna take over. It's not good for us. Queen 3 is not going to cut it to call a turn bet here. AOUB says, I totally see your point, but at $10, this still requires a lot of trust in the process to quit your job. Yes, but what also can give you that trust is when you see people that have already done it, when you see some of your friends that have done it, some of the guys, you know, let's say if you're on Team 651, you see some of the other guys that have already done it, right? I would say like, let's say like, you know, I don't know exactly, but let's say we have about 100 players on Team 651, maybe 80, maybe 90, maybe 100. Hypothetically speaking, let's just say 100. I would say like only 4, maybe 5 of them have a part-time job. So think about it that way. 95 of them like play poker full-time. 95% at least, 95% play poker full-time, right? So think about it that way.